I have two Marvel stories here, and they're both great examples of what happens when you give fans what they want and what happens when you don't give fans what they want. That being the She-Hulk one right here. This show was a great example of not giving fans what they want. This show was not made for She-Hulk fans. She-Hulk fans were probably wondering who the hell this character is. It's a awful show. But Tatiana Maslany says that her twerking scene in the show is the greatest moment of her life. You know, this scene, yeah, this is the one. What a great moment this was for television. Now, to be fair, she apparently is a fan of Megan Thee Stallion. Really shows you where her tastes are, but regardless, I would call that scene the most embarrassing moment for Marvel ever. And we all know where this landed. The show is one of the lowest rated Marvel shows. Fans hated it. It embarrassed everybody. And also, I think it's also one of the properties that damaged the Marvel brand itself. I think this show damaged the branding of the MCU. It was a mistake. And I think they're now finally realizing that after they had bomb after bomb after bomb. Whether or not Deadpool and Wolverine saves the MCU, that remains to be seen. I think it'll be a hit movie itself, but as soon as that new Captain America movie comes out, the MCU is going to crash right back down to reality. By the way, I love this scene for different reasons than Tatiana. I love it because this show was all about female empowerment and feminism, and then they did a scene where they zoomed in on her ass, and she twerked it. What a moment of empowerment that is. Now, as for giving fans what they want, well, here's a really good example of that. So on the sales chart, apparently, according to Bleeding Cool, not a big fan of the people that work there, but they do have information and sources from Marvel and DC Comics for some reason. They keep propping these people up. Their main guy over there, Rich Johnston, huge cancel pig. He was definitely a part of the reason why people like Ed Pescore end themselves. But we're not going to get too hard into that. I think it's worth mentioning. First, we're going to talk about why this is a win for fans and a slap in the face for Marvel. It's a win for fans because fans finally get what they want with this Ultimate Spider-Man book. It's set in its own universe. It's not the original Ultimate Spider-Man universe. This is like its own new thing. They're just rebranding with that name. The reason it's a win is because in this book, we have a mature Peter Parker married to Mary Jane Watson with kids. They have a family, which is what everybody wanted for the character. Marvel took that away and made him single man for life, where he's constantly humiliated by women again, which is what goes on over in Amazing Spider-Man, the long-time running book that's almost to 1,000 issues. Well, they're both up there in the sales because Amazing Spider-Man is the #1 most selling but unread comic. People buy this comic and literally just throw it in a long box because they want to just keep collecting it. And it is an awful book. I am up to date on it, and it sucks. Ultimate Spider-Man, though, is great. Really good book. Fans have been asking for this for a long time. For like 10 years, actually. Maybe even longer. I forget when they did that stupid story, One More Day, where they used the devil to divorce Peter Parker and Mary Jane. I don't think Spider-Man's been good since they've done that. There's been a couple of good arcs here and there, but for the most part, you can stop reading the long-running book once you hit that point, in my opinion. But fans have never let it go. They've constantly said, put them back together. We want them back together. And they refuse to do it But then, here comes this book where they give fans what they want, and literally it's selling out. Lines at comic shops in some places for it. It goes for a big amount of money on eBay. Like the first issue at least is like, I think still $20-25, which is a lot, considering this is a comic book that's not even a year old and it's a modern book. And it's outselling the mainline book by 50%. And that's big. It's outselling it by 50%. That's not anything to sneeze at. And honestly, Marvel should feel embarrassed about this because it's what they refuse to give fans what they want in the mainline book. So they, okay, we'll go over to this one. If you just give them what they want, and you also need to tell a good story, which I think Ultimate Spider-Man is a good story. It's a slow burn. Don't expect an action-packed book every time you pick it up, but I'm interested in where it's going. And, you get Peter Parker happily married with kids, what fans have always wanted. And lo and behold, look at that. The sales are great for it. One of the best-selling books, I think, for the character in a long time, because people are actually reading it, unlike the other one. And by the way, that Zeb Wells run that is going on in ASM right now is complete shit. It's somehow they've managed to put something out there worse than Dan Slott's worst writing. It's embarrassing. Especially after that Nick Spencer run, which was actually okay. Lo and behold, guess what? Mary Jane and Peter Parker were back together in that storyline too, and it sold better. Funny how that works. But yeah, you just give fans what they want, and they turn out for it. Imagine that. So, kind of embarrassing for Marvel because they've sworn up and down that the character is better without Mary Jane. He's better as a single loser. That's what everybody wants to see. But no, that's not what people want to see. They want to see him actually progress. So, anyway, I just thought that was interesting stuff. I wonder if they're going to really reflect on this and maybe think, hey, maybe we should put them back together in the comics. Nah, they probably won't do that. But I do find it funny. Like, it's kind of a slap in the face. The mainline book should not be getting outsold by a side book. And that's what that is. It's a side book. But it's a better book. And it's got the Spider-Man people actually want. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.